But I also don't like the fact that I have to get it approved to dye my hair. I have to get it approved, just to indulge in my things. I like stupid shit. I am a bad teacher. I was a bad teacher. Sorry.
Sup, roomies? I have tried to record this too many times now. This rant was in the same rant as the last rant that I had. It was mixed in between, and so I had to kind of separate things out. Old roomies, you know how I have no concept of linear thinking. Creativity generally doesn't go in a straight line, so it's fine. I need to explain a few things before you just listen to me shitting on my teaching experience, honestly. My first placement was a really good place. It was a great school. They care so much about the kids. They did so much to help me. They tried to help me get better, and I left on good terms with them. No, if I ever went back into teaching, that's where I would want to go. They were amazing. Second placement was during my student teaching. Typically, when you're student teaching, you're supposed to be in a classroom with a teacher, in their classroom. But because of the teacher shortage, I was on my own. I was student teaching with no teachers. It was me. It was my classroom. I got hired. I was supposed to have a mentor teacher because that school has a mentor program, who never talked to me. And when she did, it was at lunch usually. And that was her complaining about the students and their life choices and their parents' choices and a lot of homophobic shit that I didn't like. I'm not the one you want to be homophobic around. You assumed, not me. I couldn't deal with them doing that at lunch. I could not deal with it. So I stopped eating lunch with them. I ate lunch in my room. Now, I was not the only person who could not do it, because of the 6 people that were hired the same time as me, 4 of them were gone after that year. 1 quit the day before I got fired. Yes, I got fired. Again, I'm not a good teacher. And another one, the lack of support for that person got so bad that they went into the hospital because they quit eating. I mean, it was bad. And then the principal that came in with us also left. A lot of it is our educational philosophies and the things that we want and we believe in were not supported at that school. And that happens. It does happen. Unfortunately, that happens. It's not as simple as, oh, you're a teacher, you believe the same thing, let's all do the same thing. No, they believed in more, I don't want to say hardcore or old school beliefs. They did newer stuff. It just, what I was being told, at least, was not my philosophy of education at all. High school would have worked a little better, but it still wouldn't have worked because my classroom management was shit and my emotional regulation is shit, which is why I'm doing this, because I can edit this. Mm-hmm. Mini rant for me to mostly tell you that I need to clarify that that's not the whole school that I'm talking about. It's a couple of people that I worked with. Please don't think that I think that entire school is shit. I think some of the people, the ones that I was supposed to be taking advice from, we'll put it that way, were shit. I don't like them. The things that I didn't like were things that they wouldn't do or say in front of the kids. It's the backstabby bullshit that I don't like. Enjoy this rant. Just please keep in mind that this is my tiny little experience with a couple people from the school, not the whole school.
I was K through 6 general music and also 7 through 12 choir, but I wasn't very good at it, and they had a senior who was really good at it, who had been doing it before I got there. They moved me down to K through 6. They tried to get me better classroom management, and they did tell me I improved. I did improve. I started understanding things a little better, but it's really overwhelming when you first start and when you have no direction. It's really overwhelming, and it was, I'm sure that if I stuck with it, or if I had been in the right school, or if I had patience, if I didn't have the emotional regulation problems that I do, I'd have been fine. I would have been fine. There's a lot of wonderful, wonderful human beings that are teachers, and they're great at teaching. They're great everything. I know some of you roomies are teachers, so good on you. That's wonderful that you love it. I didn't like it as much. I didn't like the day-to-day as much as I thought I would. Everybody knows that, you work during the day and then you plan and you grade and stuff at night. I didn't have so much a problem with that. I enjoyed grading more than I did doing the lessons and stuff. But my behavior management strategy system was actually pretty neat, when I made it for class, but I never got to use it because I couldn't find all my stuff, which is what spurred the video that I have about organizing your notes. I could not find any of my classroom management notes when I went back to try to put them together while I was teaching. My spectacles thing was pretty cool. I just never got to use it because I don't know that it would have been okay in that building that I was in anyway. Awful. My coworkers were terrible people. Just terrible. And when you're working at a place, you want to be with people that you enjoy talking to or that you could at least feel supported by or can support. Yeah, I couldn't do that there. A lot of really bad advice. I asked about centers because I really wanted to do centers where I had the kids doing workshop type things with their writing, and I had a good plan, but the person that was basically my mentor, she said centers don't work. They've never worked. They're a waste of time. You just don't let them talk. Kid you not. Her whole philosophy was you stand up there, you talk, they regurgitate, that's how they learn. That's not how most people learn. Let's dive into some more of why I don't want to teach. I can't do anything in my personal life that would question my moral standard for being a teacher, which I understand, kind of. But I also think it's bullshit. I think it's complete and absolute bullshit. I don't understand. There's a lot of teachers getting fired for OnlyFans specifically, but even before that, people were getting in trouble because, well, you're too sexy as a teacher. Like, there was a teacher on TikTok. Students took a video of her. She did some dance routine. I think she was the sponsor for the dance team, and the parents complained, that's too sexy for her class. And I was like, okay, what you're saying is in order to be a teacher, you have to be like old, ugly, frumpy person is what you're saying. You're not allowed to be attractive as a teacher. That's some bullshit. And then, now you have teachers getting fired for OnlyFans, but I don't know if people have looked at the teacher's salary. I know some people are like, oh, well, they make more than this. Like, I made like $35,000. I think I had one other one where I was $35,000 salary, and that was my radio traffic job, which is great, except that I have no emotional regulation whatsoever, and I was also the secretary. Anyway, back to teaching. I'm so sorry. Back to teaching. Yeah, and it's bullshit. You can't be you. Yeah, my personality is not suitable for class. That's why, I'm not suitable for work. That's actually kind of accurate, though. I mean, it's accurate. It's a good segue there. Back to what I was talking about, like teachers doing OnlyFans. Okay, like, the salary is bad for most people. I mean, it's livable if you don't have kids. And for non-teachers who don't understand, like, you have to pay for a lot of the stuff in your classroom. Some schools do have a budget for you. Some of them, get things for you. There's ways to get them cheaper, all this other stuff. But like, if you buy a bunch of stuff for your classroom and it doesn't work, then you're stuck with all that stuff in your classroom. Sometimes you can't get it, or you'll get it and then people will complain because you're crowdfunding. No matter what you do, you're doing it wrong. It doesn't matter. A lot of the stuff that's required means I couldn't be me. I couldn't be me while being a teacher. And there's so many conflicting things because in school they tell you you're not supposed to go to the bar, you're not supposed to drink with the parents, you're not supposed to, because if you do that, then you are potentially upsetting the parents that don't like that you're drinking. They're like, oh, well, now you're a bad influence on my kids or whatever. Like, you're supposed to go to church with the parents. And I don't go to church. I'm so sick of that being the option. So sick of that. Every flippin' time I took my kid to counseling for stuff, and the first thing they're like, well, you need to be part of the community, so you should go hang out with the church. And I'm like, no. Thank God for YouTube. Oh, it's keeping small town people from going insane. What was I talking about?
So those are the reasons I don't teach anymore. I commend everybody who can do it. It's great. I love it. I don't have the emotional regulation to do it. I don't have any of the skill set to do it. I'm lost. I'm currently lost in my life. But the one thing that I do know that I enjoy doing is stock, which is why I'm starting a stock job next week. So I'll do that while I'm doing this and writing I will talk about my job at the radio station at some point. I will talk about some other stuff because, some of you missed out on that because you weren't here or haven't seen you since I had the job. Some of you never knew about it. By the way, the traffic job, the radio job was great. The job itself was great. Again, emotional regulation is shit. I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of problems that I was not aware that I had till I became an adult and had kids. I'll have a parent rant too. Don't worry. It'll be great. If you have reasons that you don't teach and or you wouldn't teach, or if you have reasons that you do, things that you have experienced that will not scare people away from teaching, leave those below so that people can have hope. There's a lot of reasons I quit videos, and that sucks. It just sucks. It's a great job if you can do it. I just can't do it. Unfortunately, it took $45,000. I had a lot of mental health issues to understand that it wasn't for me. Should have trusted myself the first time. So, moral of today's rant is trust your instincts. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, roomies.